It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hit your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fire for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 13 knee-jerk stream. Game Week 12, not quite over. We've still got one game tomorrow, which is Newcastle versus West Ham. But in terms of my squad, I am completely out of players. All my players have played. I've scored 67 points, which is enough for a green arrow right now. It's not a huge green arrow. It's like 1.2 million to 900k or something. That will definitely go down tomorrow because of like Isaac, Lewis Hall, etc. But hopefully it stays green. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, it's not going to be a big red arrow, which is always kind of nice. Hope you're all doing well. Everyone that's watching live or listening or watching later on. If you had Salah, you've probably had a good week. If you've had Haaland, probably not such a good week again. But perhaps maybe you have both, and that would have been good as long as you captain Salah. Is Salah a must-buy? Probably not when he's about to play Man City, although Spurs have just put 4 past Man City, so maybe that's just a fantastic fixture. Why Salah 2 bonus? He just dropped down. They must have recalculated. I think when he took that shot and hit the post, that would obviously been a shot off target, which probably didn't help. But look, like you're getting 20. If you captain Salah, like most people that own Salah probably captained him. Although I would have been tempted to go Haaland myself. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, maybe would have been tempted to go Haaland. But either way, if you had Salah, you probably captained him. You got 26 points. Like 13 points is pretty good. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Salah taking his shirt off cost us 4 points. Yeah, 1 point for the yellow card, and he obviously fell. I don't know if he would have had 3 bonus had he not taken his shirt off, but whatever, right? It happens. It's his first yellow card this season. We'll let him off, right? I think he's got enough points. If you've had him for a while now, you've had enough points from Salah. Let's not... It's annoying because we always want more points, but it's not really the end of the world at all. I feel like when you're about to play Man City, it's probably not a time to have to knee-jerk Salah in, but like I said, right now, City don't look great defensively, and I'm not really sure what's going to change about that either. I'm not really sure what Pep can do to magically make that side defensively solid without just doing something that he's not going to do, like sit in a low block for most games. It's just not going to happen, is it? So, I think Salah's a good transfer in. Is he an essential transfer in? Probably not. Should Johnson owners be concerned about the benching? I would say not massively. Obviously shows that Ange Postecoglou is happy to bench him, but I suspect it was probably just a Man City thing. I think he'll be in the team more often than not going forward. What's going on with Salah? Is he going to stop or no? I mean, he's going to stop getting double-digit hauls every single week at some point. Of course he is. Just like Haaland is not going to blank forever. But Salah will continue ticking over nicely. I would bet on Salah scoring this week as well, to be honest with you. How many hits are acceptable to get Saka and João Pedro? Please talk me out of a -8. You probably don't need a -8, I would say. Although that move, like Trent, Semenyo, and Strand Larson to Cole, Saka and João Pedro doesn't sound terrible to me, but you probably don't need a -8. Like, João Pedro is very good, and he's probably going to be my transfer in this week. But he's not, like, essential or anything like that, I would say. Should have listened and played Cunha over Raul Jimenez. Did I say that? I might have said that. Cunha is... I don't want to dwell on past transfers, but Trent Alexander-Arnold has hurt me in so many ways. Like, in Game Week 10, when I sold Haaland, I got Raul Jimenez instead of Cunha. Cunha did really well. In Game Week 11, I got Strand Larson instead of Cunha so I could keep Trent and still get Saka. And now I might not even get Saka because I've got triple Arsenal defence. And obviously Trent went and got injured. Like, the points lost to Cunha have been horrible. Like I think Cunha is a bit like Chris Wood maybe earlier on in the season. I think he is an amazing pick. I think anyone that's got him is definitely keeping him. Anyone that's bringing him in, fair enough. Really good fixtures to come. The stats are decent. He's great for bonus, but also does feel like he's overperforming a little bit. So I think it's a bit like Chris Wood earlier. The number of returns for Cunha will slow down a bit, but maybe not in the next 5 game weeks, given how good the fixtures are. And I'm probably not going to buy him at all. I did... On Saturday night, I did briefly think about a hit. Raul Jimenez and Strand Larson out for Cunha and João Pedro. But as always, I've slept on it and I've probably talked myself out of a -4 for that. And again, please, people always seem to take offence when I say things like players are overperforming. I think Cunha's a great pick. And obviously, if you've got him, he's going absolutely nowhere. Palmer in bad form, yes. Although he's probably going to be my captain next week. Is Havertz now a huge minutes risk? I don't know if he's a huge minutes risk. I'd find it very surprising if he goes from like 11 90 minutes in a row to now being a huge minutes risk. But I guess, again, a bit like Brendan Johnson, it shows that Arteta's about to... he's happy to bench him if needed. It's about jumping on players that are in form and have reasonable... When does form start and when does it end? I bought him before the previous game week. He's been amazing for me. Yeah, if you've got Cunha, like I said, absolutely happy days. I'm done with Haaland. He's out. As I've said for a number of weeks now, Haaland is going to continue getting sold until he finally gets a brace or Salah stops scoring. It's just going to happen every single week. And every week you're going to feel like this is the week that Haaland's going to... I mean, if you're not selling Haaland this week before Liverpool away, you're just not selling him. Because from 14 onwards, the fixtures get good again. So if you've come this far with Erling Haaland, this is the week you sell him, I think. Is Cunha captain crazy next week? Not crazy, but he probably isn't the best option. If you wanted to captain Salah against City, I don't see any problem with it. I don't see Arteta changing Havertz up top. Team seems more fluid, especially with Odegaard back. But I think you've hit the nail on the head, right? The team looks better because, well, I mean, one, it was a good fixture. I said this before the game week started. Arsenal haven't had the best fixture run. But also, as you said, Odegaard's back. I don't necessarily think it was because Jesus was playing up front. I think the link up on the right between Odegaard and Saka was so good. Also, by the way, I think Timber is a great pick. He was pretty attacking. And if I wasn't an ultra boring minute safe player that I am most of the time, I would definitely go back and buy Timber instead of Saliba. I mean, Saliba outscored him, which is nice. But I think if Timber can stay fit, he'll get really good minutes. And I think he'll outscore players like Saliba. Just more attacking. To fund Sanchez to Raya, I need 0.9 million in Burmo to someone game week 14 or Porro out game week 13. I quite like in Burmo as a long-term pick, to be honest. Like, if you have to downgrade in Burmo, there's not a huge amount of options. So I'd probably rather Porro out. In Burmo was awful again. His stats are dropping down. Yeah, but it's Leicester at home next, so no need to worry about it. Game week 14, I think a lot of people are going to jump off him. I've got a big decision in Game Week 14. I can go in Burmo to Son. I can keep in Burmo. I can just do... I might even take a hit for Saliba out to get Saka in. But we'll see. We'll see. I might just keep in Burmo, ignore Saka and Son completely. Son to Saka or roll. No other issues in the team. I think Saka's... Like, I would rather have Saka than Son long term. Put it that way. So, like, Son's obviously fine against Fulham at home, but at some point you're going to want to make that move. I wouldn't transfer in João Pedro for Welbeck. I suspect that João Pedro will be a better option longer term, but until Welbeck starts losing minutes, I don't think you need to worry about him whatsoever. Wood bench makes me want to do Wood to João Pedro, even though he plays Ipswich. Let's be real. If you've got Chris Wood, you're not selling him. It's Ipswich at home. You keep him for that, I think. I mean, you could make an argument that João Pedro is a better long-term pick. He's also cheaper, so it frees up money. He's probably going to go up in price again before the deadline. So maybe you could go for him, but I would want to just keep Chris Wood if I had him. Mbeumo has 0.09 XG in these 3 games. Time to worry. Again, it's Leicester at home, so I'm just like... Mbeumo could have 0 XG for the last 5 matches, and I would just keep him for Leicester at home, to be honest. Garnacho and Solanke out for Saka and João Pedro for a -4. I mean, selling Solanke for a -4 doesn't feel great before Fulham at home. Like, it's not an easy fixture, but it's also not terrible. Garnacho got good minutes today as well. Again, it's probably a good long-term move. Do you need to take a minus for it? Maybe not, but if you want to go for it, go for it. How confident are we on JP's minutes in the next 3 game weeks? I think overall I'm pretty confident in his minutes. Can I guarantee you starts all 3 of the next 3? No, not really. Will he be subbed early in all of them? Probably. Bruno in an attacking position under Amorim. Yeah, without doing any attacking, really. And also, when Xerxes came on, Eriksen went off and Bruno Fernandes was put a little bit deeper. Now, I don't think that's going to stick. I think Man United have got... Amorim's going to have the same problem that Ten Hag had, and you kind of want Bruno in a deeper role for his passing range, although he probably does make too many long-range passes sometimes. Like, he's always looking for that killer ball, and sometimes you don't want that. But either way, I think overall, Fernandes is probably the best passer in that team. So you kind of want him deep, but you also want him closer to the striker. So I think he will stay closer to Rashford or Højlund, whoever's playing up front, long-term. But there is going to be matches where he gets pushed back. I wouldn't panic about Man United. Look, it was a terrible game. I wouldn't be buying any Man United players, but if you've got United players that started, I would keep them for Everton at home. And remember that Amorim had hardly any time with the full squad. So I don't think there's any need to panic about Man United just yet, but it was a really bad performance, and Ipswich probably deserved to win overall. Like, Delap had 2 great chances. Onana was easily man of the match. Should I sell Haaland and get Cunha and replace Adama for Saka, but I would lose 8 points? Probably not for 8 points, no. Don't think so. Is Timber a better option than Gabriel? No, I don't think so. Gabriel's goal threat from set pieces is really good. And obviously Gabriel's absolutely nailed. Like, I'll go back to what I said earlier. I think Timber's like, if he can stay fit, I'm not sure Timber gets benched at all. But if he did get benched, it wouldn't be like a massive shock. Whereas if Gabriel was to be benched, that would be a huge shock. So if you can afford it, I would still go Gabriel. I think if Gabriel, Saliba and Timber's minutes were all the same, then it's probably I mean, you could probably put Timber first, but I just wouldn't be as confident in his fitness. So I'd probably put Gabriel, then Timber, then Saliba. I went for Saliba just for safety of minutes, really. It's too early to look into United options. Yeah, exactly. And plus the fixtures are bad anyway. Like, after this week. Luca Dini's non-stop FPL entertainment. I said this so many times. As soon as Luca Dean becomes an option or people start thinking about him, something happens and he finally gets benched. Yeah, I'm not disputing that Timber is nailed. I've said that like a couple of times already in this stream now. I think if he can stay fit, his minutes will be amazing. It's just whether or not he can stay fit. So I'd still for safety, I'd rather buy Gabriel, but Timber's obviously a nice price. João Pedro in for Solanke and Mbeumo to Saka -4. I think that's a bit knee-jerk for me. Like, I know João Pedro and Saka are both really good long-term options, but Mbeumo's got Leicester at home, Solanke's got Fulham at home. I don't see the need for the -4. Who am I going to captain this week? Probably Palmer. Villa was horrendous without Luka Dean, so surely he's nailed now. I mean, he's first choice. We obviously can't say nailed. He literally just got benched. This is my team for next week, by the way. So I've got Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, triple up on Arsenal defence, West Ham away, Pinnock for Leicester at home, captain on Palmer against Villa at home, Fernandes, Everton at home, Mbeumo, Leicester at home, Salah, City at home, Strand Larsen, Bournemouth at home, Raul Jimenez, Spurs away, and Solanke, Fulham at home. My move will probably be Strand Larsen to João Pedro, but I'm not 100% set on that because Strand Larsen's got better fixtures than Raul Jimenez in the short term. But I do have Rodgers that covers Raul Jimenez quite nicely for the bad fixtures. And from about game week 17 onwards, Raul Jimenez is much better. So it's a close call, I think. I really wish I could just go back in time and not transfer Strand Larsen in. But unfortunately, you can't do that in FPL. It would be too easy otherwise. Everyone's bringing out Haaland. He will probably brace versus Liverpool now. I've heard someone say exactly that the last 3 game weeks. So sure, why not? Why am I going to captain Palmer? Why not? Villa at home is not a bad fixture. He's an incredible FPL option. Again, we shouldn't. This is where I think people are just too reactive. Like a few weeks ago, people would have seen Palmer as this ultra essential player that, you know, anyone that went it without him would be stupid. And now we're questioning captaincy for Villa at home. I think it's pretty good. Looks good, should roll. I could roll, but I'm probably just going to buy João Pedro. Not tempted to captain Mbeumo, not really. It'll be Palmer or Salah, I think. Like, Mbeumo's not bad, to be fair. If Madueke didn't block that shot. Yeah, Palmer scores and suddenly the captaincy doesn't look as bad, right? Ashley Young is getting near to Haaland points. Ashley Young has been ridiculously consistent. Is it in most of the games where he hasn't got a clean sheet, he's got an attack and return? I think I'm not going to keep talking about Salah bonus. Relax. It's 1 bonus point. It's 2 if you captain him. If you had Son, would you captain him over Palmer? That is a good question. See, Son came off early, which does worry me a little bit, but I think that's because Spurs were 3-0 up. Are they still managing him? Like, I know he got 90 against Ipswich, but they were chasing the game. Imagine figuring out time travel and just using it for FPL. That's what I would do. Looks like Saka is on the watch list given Odegaard is back. I think Saka would have been a great option regardless, to be honest with you. Like, it's not like he's struggled to score points this season. Saka captain next week. Not for me. He's not terrible, but yeah, you could do it if you wanted to. I think I'd rather go for Salah or Palmer at home, though. Is Saka being overlooked as a captaincy option? Would you have asked that before he got a goal and assist this weekend? Suspect no. Jackson is low-key beasting. Tried him out this week. He did all right. Great finish for the goal. Really good cross with his weak foot as well. Not for any assist, but it was just a really good cross. Yeah, Jackson's great. He's on 4 yellow cards. It's super annoying because it's hard to buy him. But yeah, if you've got him, you're loving life right now. If you want to captain Salah, like I said, yeah, you should absolutely do it. He probably will score against City. I just think Palmer, on paper, I guess, has got the slightly easier fixture. I don't know. I might talk myself into going Salah. We'll see. The price rise might not let me buy Saka for Mbeumo. Should I do it tonight? It feels a bit risky moving early on Salah. There's Champions League games and stuff to come midweek. Solanke brace versus Fulham next week. I'd love a brace against Fulham. It would be nice. Last time everyone sold him and he dropped in price, he got 16 points. So hopefully it happens again. Jackson's numbers all round improved since last season. I think Jackson's numbers were good last season. Like I remember bringing him in early and obviously got laughed at a lot for having Nicholas Jackson because like he can't finish, his XG is good. Like it was all the usual stuff. XG is nonsense, blah, blah, blah. And actually he's delivering on that now. Like his numbers are up, but not by much. Like his expected goals per 90 are very similar to last year. Like it just so happens the ball's going in the net now, more so than it was last year. And that can happen, right? Strand Larson to Cunha or João Pedro. I think it's really difficult to sit here and say don't buy Cunha, but I think João Pedro's value is just so good. Like, I wouldn't begrudge anyone buying Cunha over João Pedro because he's a 90-minute man pretty much every week. He's so good for bonus as well when he gets a return, but I just don't think you can ignore João Pedro's price. Like, if he can stay fit, like he just won't leave your team ever. Like, I don't think Brighton will have a bad enough run of fixtures where there'll be any point taking João Pedro out. Now, can he stay fit? We don't know. But if he can, like, even when, for example, he plays Arsenal at home in game week 20, you've then got Ipswich away, Man United away, Everton at home. That's fine, right? Forest away, okay, a little bit more difficult. Then it's Chelsea at home, Southampton away, Bournemouth. Like, there's no really, really bad run of fixtures. He's a ridiculous price. I would just get João Pedro. Dunk or Colwill? Well, right now I'd have to say Colwill because I'm not sure Dunk will be fit. I'd be very tempted to get Van Heck. Keep Porro this week, or was it a fluke? I think Porro's fine to hot. Like, I guess with defenders, if you're selling Porro, who are you going to? Unless you're going to an Arsenal defender, I don't really see the point in selling him unless you need the money. Semenyo and Haaland to Saka, João Pedro Jackson -4. Yeah, I guess that comes under a don't hate it because Semenyo is suspended. Yeah, a few people have asked me about Son over Palmer captain. I would consider it, yeah. I don't know if I would definitely do it. Like, is Fulham at home a much easier fixture than Villa at home? I'm not sure it is, to be honest. I think I'd probably go Palmer, but it's close. You said Porro was a sell. Yeah, probably did. Probably depends who you were selling him to, though, right? And also, like, things can change quite quickly. Like, selling him before Man City away is different to selling him before Fulham at home, right? Like, if you didn't sell him for Man City away, then this week it's a different decision. And as I said, if you're going to an Arsenal defender, I would probably sell Porro. But who else do you go to right now? You don't want to buy a City defender before Liverpool away. You don't want to buy a Liverpool defender before City at home. So who do you even sell Porro to this week? Unless you need the money or you go into an Arsenal defender, you probably just keep him. Fulham did go down to 10 men, yeah. And by the way, Raul Jimenez, I don't know how he missed. He should have scored. Absolutely ridiculous. Isak or Jackson? Jackson's got the better schedule. I would still probably go Isak just because of the 4 yellow cards. Did I know Konate was on 4 yellow cards? He's on 4 yellows now, right? He was on 3 before. Yeah, Van Heck I quite like. But I would only do Porro to Van Heck if I needed the money. I don't see the point in doing it otherwise. Thoughts on Cooper's sacking? I'm not like really that up on like Leicester management, if I'm honest. All I know is that a lot of Leicester fans that I follow didn't seem to want him in the first place. And so that was already not ideal for him. And so if you've got fans on your back, as soon as you're in the door, you've got to do really well from the off. And that just hasn't really happened. So I don't think it's a massive surprise. If Man City loses in the Champions League, would you be more tempted to go in Salah captain? I don't think that would play any part in my decision, really. I'm not really sure why City losing would make Salah captain better, unless I'm missing something. I bought in Cunha in Game Week 11. It's been a fantastic transfer. How long do I hold on to him? I mean, look at the fixtures and just stop worrying about it. Sell Semenyo or Rodgers for Saka. I'd rather keep Semenyo than sell Rodgers. But remember that Semenyo is suspended this week. Roll this week and do Wood and Son to João Pedro and Saka in Game Week 14. Sure. I spoke about Timber earlier. Short story, I think he's great. Why is Collins close to a price rise? Genuinely got no idea. Can't answer you that. Would you keep Son for the next 2 or just buy Saka? I think if you've got absolutely nothing else to do, I'd probably just do Son to Saka. But it's not, in my opinion, it's not a transfer that you need to rush this week, I would say. Yeah, Cunha only scores bangers. Like, the guy's great. Or it feels like a lot of his goals are bangers only. Why is Mbeumo close to a price drop? People sell players who don't get points, basically. It doesn't matter what fixtures you've got and stuff like that. Saka rising to 10.2 million tonight. Nice. Bit annoying, but it is what it is. Is Bruno to Saka worthwhile if I have the money in the bank? I think keeping Bruno's fine this week and then sell him to Saka next week. But again, if you just want to get Saka this week, then go for it. Like, Saka is the better long-term pick if money's no issue. Selling Mbeumo versus Leicester is ludicrous. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like it's annoying to lose money on a player, but it's also nice that he's getting enough transfers out that he's dropping in price. That means less people own him. Like, if you think a player's going to do really well, then you shouldn't worry so much about the price drops. Look at Bruno Fernandes. He went down in price. Now he's finally back up to his starting price because he got a few points, right? And everyone suddenly decided he was a great option. And now he's gone back up to 8.5 and now he's blanked. Saka is never a doubt to play. I mean, he literally didn't play in Game Week 8. Nice picks on the... Saka's underlying numbers are not good. You're looking at the wrong numbers. Nice picks on the Arsenal backline. Yeah, look, it's really nice that it came in this week against Forest at home. I watched the game. I wouldn't say it was that fun. In some ways, it wasn't that fun because any time Forest went forward, I thought if they score now, this is going to be... It's not even the lack of points. It's the amount of comments I knew I would get. Can you imagine the sheer number of comments as soon as Forest would have scored? So that was on my mind. But in terms of actually the Arsenal defence being massively threatened, not really for most of the match. And I don't think it's any surprise because Arsenal are a top 2 defence in this league. And not everyone, but a lot of people just disputed that because they hadn't kept clean sheets. But their underlying numbers continue to be some of the best in the league. Like 7 out of 12 games now, they've kept the opposition to under 1 XG. They are just a really solid defence. Now, Forest didn't have Gibbs White. They benched Chris Wood, etc. I get that. But still, you'd expect them to do a little bit better than that. Saka has doubled his expected goal involvement. Yeah, but his underlying numbers are still really good, right? Do you believe the most transferred in player always blanks? No. I wouldn't go out of my way to sell Brennan Johnson, no. Vardy's still worth the money. Not if they keep conceding. I will say, I think Vardy from Game Week 40 and onwards isn't that bad, though. I think, it's hard to see where the clean sheets are coming from for City, but the fixtures are good. So 40 and onwards. Not great this week. Like, again, if you're going to sell Vardy, I guess who are you going to, right? Saka needs Odegaard like Haaland needs De Bruyne. I just don't agree. Well... Yeah, I just don't see how that can be true. Like, look at Saka's returns so far this season. And a lot of Haaland's returns came without De Bruyne, I think. I could be wrong on that. Haaland's getting chances. I don't think De Bruyne being on the pitch makes Haaland more likely to convert chances. He's just going through a spell where the ball just happens to not be going in the net, and it's really hurting because Salah's doing so well. I'll say this, if you're a Haaland owner that's relying on De Bruyne to come back, I'm just not convinced De Bruyne is going to play a huge amount of minutes. Like, he's been back training for ages and he still didn't start against Spurs. You're really quiet about the Arsenal defence. I'm not really sure what else I can say about the Arsenal defence. Like, it's fine for now. There probably will be a point that I want Saka, and that'll be annoying. But I can always just sell Saliba, right? I can just take a hit if I really want Saka. So it's not great to put myself into a position where I might have to take a hit, but also I might just not get Saka. And just go for a different midfielder instead. I just think Arsenal defender, apart from Liverpool defenders from 50 and onwards, there's really no defenders that are better than Arsenal ones. So I'm quite happy to have 3 of them. Rico Lewis is dreadful. He's been a horrible FPL asset. Yeah, I'm still hoping he plays in Game Week 14 though. Is that the first time we've ever had triple defence? I think so. I mean, I'm an old man now, so my memory's not great. And I've played this for like 13 or 14 seasons. But I think it might be the first time I've tripled up. I mean, usually you don't triple up because if a team's that good that you want 3 defenders, the team is often good enough that you want an attacker as well. So most people are not going to triple Arsenal defence because they want Saka, and that is absolutely reasonable. Of course it is. But also Arsenal defence is so good, I don't mind having 3 of them. Best captain, Wood, Saka, Pedro, Isak, Salah, Bruno. Probably Salah, I would say. First month as a member, welcome. Why didn't you go Konate if pool defenders are as good? From Game Week 15, I said. Like, Southampton away was a good fixture, but then they got City at home and Newcastle away, so it was just better to take the points from the Arsenal defender right now. Also, the thing with Konate is, I think he's obviously first choice. We don't need to talk about it anymore, but there's still just part of me that thinks he's going to get injured at some point, more so than the Arsenal defenders. I assume Wood was benched just because of international break and the fact it was Arsenal. What to do with Konate this week? Keep him, presumably. Like I think he's just a good long-term pick, right? Yeah, he's on 4 yellow cards, but like you wouldn't be buying. Oh, excuse me, hang on. Like you wouldn't be buying Konate anyway, right? So that's not a concern. The 4 yellow cards. If you own him, you just keep him. I think. Like even if he gets a yellow card against Man City, then he's going to miss the Newcastle game. That's his rest. And by the way, that if you're a Konate owner, I actually think you want a yellow card against City. Because then he gets the break against Newcastle away, which is the midweek fixture where it might happen anyway. And then you know from 50 and onwards he needs another 5 yellows before the next suspension. That's why I went with Van Dijk. Yeah, I think Van Dijk, is he worth the money over Konate? Probably. Van Dijk's getting quite expensive though. Is Visser now a minute's risk with Thiago back? Possibly. It's hard to know because Thiago hasn't been around much, right? But you're probably not buying Visser right now because after Leicester the fixtures get tougher. If you've got Visser, you just keep him for Leicester and then you reassess after that. If you have Bruno and Son but no Saka and Mbeumo, would you sell? I wouldn't sell Bruno for Mbeumo. Son for Saka, I already talked about. Yeah, perfectly reasonable move if you want to do that. Don't have 0.1 for Gabriel. Get Timber or Saliba. Again, all I can say is, with the same minutes, I think Timber is better than Saliba. Can Timber stay fit enough for that? We'll have to wait and see. If you want to go safe, it's Saliba. If you want to go exciting and cheaper, it's Timber. Like he was so close to getting a goal. It was only just ruled offside. There's no way I'd buy Marcus Rashford right now. No way. I'm not convinced he will remain as the number 9 long term. I think Højlund will be that number 9. And even if he does play, he always gets subbed early, or often does. He hasn't played that well for a while. He took his goal really nicely today, but that was about all he did. Like it's the first game, right? So no Man United players played amazing. I think probably Amad Diallo, Mazraoui, probably the bet, and Onana, of course. But there's no way I'll buy Marcus Rashford. 0. How am I getting Saka? I'm either not or I'm selling Saliba at some point. I've got no plans to buy Saka right now, essentially. Is João Pedro a minute's risk? I think he's first choice and he'll start the majority of games. But Timber, if he gets injured, you just jump off. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, but I think sometimes, like, that is of course true, right? But that means you're potentially using up an extra transfer. And like other stuff might happen as well. Again, I don't think I can really say any more on it, right? Timber with the minutes is a great buy and he's super cheap and the Arsenal defence is great. And if you're willing to take on board that his fitness has been a slight concern, Like, I know last season was just a big injury, so it's not like anything he could have done about it. But he's already missed games this season through fitness. So for the price difference, it could be well worth it. I just like Saliba because if I'm going to keep Arsenal defence for a while, I just know that I don't have to worry about it. Saliba's just going to play every game. Wood for Cunha, I wouldn't do that, no. I would just keep Wood for Ipswich at home. How do I rate Palmer's low form? I just don't particularly worry about it. If you look at the last 5 games, he's played Liverpool away, Man United away, Arsenal at home. Those fixtures are tough. The easier ones, Leicester, okay, he's blanked. That can happen. He was very close to scoring. In Newcastle, he scored. So I've said this plenty of times before, I just don't really care about form all that much. It's not really something I tend to pay attention to. Palmer is just good, and that's enough for me. Not really worried about everything else, I don't think. Wouldn't you use the Saka money you don't need to turn Strand Larsen into Isak instead of going cheap? But I think João Pedro's not better than Isak, but he's pretty damn good. And I could always use that money in the future. And by the way, I can't do Strand Larsen to Isak. I'd have to free up 0.2 million. Now, this is where there's a little part of me. I know every Sunday I do a knee-jerk stream and I just regret the previous transfer. It's like a theme. There is already part of me after watching that Forest game thinking you should have just taken the risk on Timber. Because if I'd gone Timber, I would have been able to do Strand Larsen to Isak. I could just do Raul Jimenez to João Pedro then. But look, it's done now. I took the safer route. I've got to stick with it for now, at least for this week. I've got triple Arsenal defence and I'm not missing Saka one bit, at least not yet. I mean, Saka will. It's like Haaland, right? So for anyone that sold Haaland, you know at some point he's going to get points. If you've gone triple Arsenal defence, you know that Saka's going to get points. You just hope that whoever you've got instead of him can do just as well. This week, it wasn't to be. If I was to get Saka in, I'd have to sell in Burmo. So, for example, if I'd gone, I don't know, I've got Saliba in Burmo where some people might have Colwill and Saka, essentially. So my hope is, and it would be basically, it would be really good if Son could become amazing. Because if Son can become amazing and compete with Saka, then I feel like I've got the better defender than everyone else. Not everyone else at FPL manager, but everyone else, other defender options, essentially, if that makes sense. So my hope is that Saliba is better than the next best defender by more than. Do you know, I've done videos for so long and I can't articulate anything. I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. I think hopefully Saliba's going to be so much better than the next defender option, more so than Saka is versus the attacker that I have, essentially. That's the. Yeah, something like that. 97 points this game week. Damn, very nice. Cheers for the João Pedro shout when I was looking at Brighton assets. You're welcome. We talked about João Pedro quite a lot, yeah. You were unsurprisingly correct. Foden is rubbish and he's already gone from my team. I don't think I ever said Foden was rubbish. I did say I had no interest in buying him, but that's two different things. What do you think of Mbeumo having 0.22 non-penalty XG over 5 game weeks? Is that all in? Is that all in over 5 game weeks? Oh no, is that per 90 you mean? Has he got 0.9? Oh, non-penalty. It's pretty bad, yeah. But again, it's Leicester at home, so I just don't think you need to worry about it this week. Reassess from game week 14 onwards. I just think with Mbeumo, he's just not a massive concern for me because he's nailed on over Christmas. He's got penalties. I'm kind of okay with it. I would worry more about Mbeumo 14 onwards. I wouldn't. My advice would be don't spend too much thinking time about selling Mbeumo this week. There's almost no reasons to do it for most people. If you want to get Saka and you're going to be priced out and you want him as a long-term pick, which is obviously a good move, then go for it. But I don't. I think in FPL, the fewer things you can think about, the better. Yeah, I know. I'm saying that though. Brentford's fixtures might be bad, but they're not bad this week, are they? So there's no need to panic about it. Saka looks incredible, best in quite some time. Yeah, solid captain this week. West Ham defence obviously really poor. We'll see how West Ham do tomorrow against Newcastle, but presumably the defence will still be terrible. Yeah, Salah captain. I think you asked that earlier. I talked about that already quite a bit. Tempted by Jackson from 16 if he served his suspension. Possibly. I think with Solanke... Solanke's got Southampton away in 16. Then it's Liverpool at home, Forest away, which is not quite so good. So maybe Solanke to Jackson. If I've still got money in the bank, then possibly like a Raul Jimenez up to Jackson or something like that. But I'm gonna wait until he served his suspension. I know he's gonna score a bunch of points in the meantime, but I'm gonna have to wait, I think. Mbeumo scored 14 and 15 points versus Southampton and Ipswich at home this season. You'd be mad to sell before Leicester. Did he get a penalty in each of those games? I would buy João Pedro before Jackson because of the 4 yellow cards. I said that before game week 12 as well. Lopetegui will be gone before the Arsenal game. We'll see. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but it's a bit like Ten Hag. You feel like, why have they not already sacked him? Like, what are they waiting for if they're going to do it? Okay, no penalty against Southampton. Fair enough. Just one against Ipswich, right? Missed your super chat. Let me have a quick look. Is it worth removing Isak, Jackson, Cunha for João Pedro? No. There's a difference with Jackson. Like, if you haven't got him, then the 4 yellow cards might be a bit of an issue. But if you've got him, you just keep him. So unless you really need the money for a bigger move, I think you just keep that front line. I think it looks great. How do I see Solanke to João Pedro? I think it's fine if you need the money. I don't think I would do it otherwise. I think Solanke's fine this week. Any advice for me who's still clinging on to Haaland? Yeah. Think about if you want to sell him this week. If you don't, I think, I said this earlier, I think with Haaland owners, if you don't sell him this week, you're holding for the long term. And I think that's fine if you want to do that, by the way. Just accept, or not accept, but just, I don't know what the right word is. I'm so terrible at speaking. It's a really bad problem to have when you make videos. Yeah, just in FPL, like I said this earlier, players can blank, right? I said this earlier on in the season. Players sometimes will blank, and that is the case with Haaland. He will blank sometimes, but like he's going to score. He's had ridiculous numbers. It's like 5.5 XG in his last few games or something. He's got 2 goals. I did talk about Brennan Johnson. I wouldn't panic about him. The thing with Brennan Johnson is he's, 6.8, 6.9 million or something like that. There's not a huge... Unless you've got money to upgrade, there's not a huge amount of other players to go to. And the fixtures are quite good, so I wouldn't be in a panic about it. If you've got Haaland and Brennan Johnson and you want to do like Haaland to João Pedro, Brennan Johnson to Salah, fair enough. That kind of makes sense. But to not upgrade him, I don't really know where you go. I saw the Roy Keane video. Feels like a bit of a non-event. I feel like the words exclusive and breaking on Twitter have like lost all meaning. Like it's just like, oh, this is exclusive. Roy Keane has this big. Like he's just chatting to a fan. Okay, was it a bit heated? Maybe, but it looked like a non-event to me unless something more happened. Yeah, Matoma's not a bad shout actually. Yeah, fair play. Southampton at home this week. I can do Solanke down to João Pedro and Jackson to Saka. Yeah, that's good. For a hit, again, I'm not convinced I like it for a hit. You've got 2 Spurs players before Fulham at home. I feel like that's okay. You could just do it next week instead if you wanted to, for free. Subs don't get made in FPL till the game week's over. Was Havertz just rested or should owners be concerned? I don't think you should be massively concerned, but as far as I know, he didn't have an injury or anything. Must have just, like, Arteta said he wanted to use the squad. Obviously, it's just after an international break. I don't know how much he played for Germany during the international break. Did he pull out of the Germany squad? Someone let me know I can't remember what happened with Havertz during the international break. Anyway, I think he'll probably be back in that lineup more often than not. it does make it a little... Oh, he played and scored. Fair enough. It does... I mean, for 8 million, it's a bit annoying moving forward, but I think you keep him for now. Do we think Trent will play? We'll have to wait for more information from Slot. I don't think he really talked about him, to be honest. Best Brighton defender, dunk his flag, punt on Estepinian. I'm not sure I would go for Estepinian. I think I would just go for Van Heck. The thing with Estepinian is Kadioglu's not out long term or anything. I think he could play left back. I'm just not sure. Basically, I'm not sure Estepinian is like guaranteed to play every game or start every game. João Pedro captain. I don't think so. I think he's a really good value option, but there is still the chance of the early sub, and I'm just not sure it's worth it. He is on 7 points per game, though, which I think is the same as Haaland. It's kind of crazy. I've only got 1 free transfer this week. And I don't see myself getting to more than 1 free transfer for quite a while. I'm not convinced I'll ever get back to 3 free transfers again this season. Maybe next season. Amad Diallo, he's cheap and playing at the moment. All I can say on Man United players is a word of caution, and that is it was the first game under Amorim. He's still figuring out the team, and it's not a guarantee that everyone... Like, if you've got the players already, the ones that started today, I would probably assume they're going to start again. But the idea that, you know, Amad Diallo or Garnacho is now nailed under Amorim, it's like it's hard to know. I mean, Amad's obviously a really cheap price, so maybe it's worth the risk if it enables another move. But generally, I just wouldn't bother going there. Also, Man United have got Arsenal away and City away in 2 of the next 4 fixtures. If I can get any defender for next week, who do you think's best? Vardiol, excluding Vardiol, Kanate and Colwill. Gabriel. It's always Arsenal defenders. Which one to remove the next couple of fixtures? I got Visser and Mbeumo. I would get rid of Visser before Mbeumo. There's loads of good cheap forwards right now. There's not so many great 7 million or below midfielders. Saka and João Pedro for Johnson and Lancashire. Definitely, yeah. Definitely, if you can do that. What do you think about Son to Saka tonight before Saka goes up in price? If he does, I'm 0.1 million short. If this is the only way you've got to do it, and this is definitely the way you want to do it, then maybe you could do it and just take the risk. But just remember there are Champions League games and stuff this week. Like, Saka could pick up a knock, right? And then we're going through another deadline where you're not quite sure if he's going to play. I'm sure he'll be fine, right? It's not very often he misses games, Saka, but I'd be tempted to do it if you know that's how you want to... If you know that's your move. Just know there's risks with it. Who is on Villa penalties after Tielemans missed? No idea. It could just be Tielemans again. We don't know. Actually, I think it might be McGinn. McGinn might get a shot because I think he was second in line behind Douglas Luiz last year. I saw Morgan Rogers take one for the England under-21s. It was a really good penalty. I mean, in my unbiased opinion as a Rogers owner that's going to play him in Game Weeks 14 and 15, I think Rogers should get him. But I think it'll either be Tielemans again, because he's got a pretty good record overall, or maybe McGinn. I don't think it'll be Watkins. Watkins does not have a great record. I think he just doesn't fancy penalties. Because if he wanted them, I think he could probably have them, right? A lot of the time, you're number 9. Well, not always, actually. Salah takes penalties. He's not a 9. Fernandes isn't a 9 either. Andreas Pereira is not a 9. Yeah, scratch that. But I don't think Watkins is getting them. If Rogers takes penalties, he's Palmer 2.0. I don't know if he's that good, but he would be great. Like, he would easily be... He would probably become a season keeper. But maybe not quite as good as Palmer was. What an objective, unbiased opinion to want Rogers taking him. Exactly. That's what I was saying. There's lots of questions about dropping Mbeumo. I don't know if people are serious. Like this week. I get it from 14. Wildcarding and buying either Mbeumo or Bruno, who to go for. Well, Bruno is a bit more money, so you got to think about what that might stop you doing. I would probably go Bruno over Mbeumo, but it's quite close. Just because of the money. I think with Havertz, I want to say I would lean towards keeping, I think, but I understand why people probably want to sell now. I'm more likely to captain Mbeumo than sell. Yeah, 100%. Rodgers is the only reasonable player to own from Aston Villa, and they're going to win a lot. I'm not sure he's the only one. Like Watkins is good too. I don't really have too much interest in buying Watkins, but I don't think he's a bad option or anything like that. Start Rodgers or McNeil next game week. So Chelsea away for Rodgers, and Everton have. I think it's got to be McNeil, doesn't it? I think they got a better fixture. Oh yeah, Man United away, of course. I'd probably start McNeil. I think. I don't have strong opinions about much in FPL, but I think selling Mbeumo this week is nuts, honestly. Mbeumo, yeah. So with Mbeumo, these are my thoughts. You don't sell him this week. I can't understand that at all. And then in 14, you've got a decision to make. Personally, I know the stats haven't been great recently, and maybe that will be a trend now with Mbeumo. But if I have to keep him for Villa away, Newcastle at home, Chelsea away, Forest at home, I'm kind of fine with it. Like if I get to game week 14 and I've got another transfer I need to make instead of selling Mbeumo, then I'll just keep him. I don't really see him as this massive problem, really. Until Amorim gets sacked, Man United assets are to be avoided. Yeah, you got to wait for the new manager bounce now. Is Jimenez a sell? His data is good, but he isn't delivering. Possibly. I think it depends on your forward setup. Like if I had... Let's say I had Solanke, Rao, Jimenez, and Cunha instead of Strand Larson. I would be selling Rao, Jimenez to João Pedro this week. But because I've got Strand Larson, I'm probably going to sell him instead. So I think Rao Jimenez is probably still a pretty good long-term pick. But it depends who your other forwards are. Do you think it's a good decision for me to take out Haaland, Jimenez, and Rodgers to bring in Saka, Isak, and João Pedro? If that's for free, I don't mind it. Do you think Strand Larson to Cunha for a -4 is worth it? It's one of those moves where I don't think I would do it. But I know we'll be sat here in 5 weeks saying, should have just taken that -4. I don't think I would do it. I would wait until you've got the spare move. Just do it for free. But I completely understand why people want to do it. Van Nistelrooy wasn't that bad. Bruno Fernandes was amazing under Van Nistelrooy. Excluding Liverpool and Arsenal, who do you think is the best defence in the league? That's a really good question that I don't think I have an answer for you right now. I think I'd have to go and look up the numbers. I don't really know off the top of my head. That's the problem with live streaming, I suppose. I mean, Forest, like, it depends whether you're asking me, like, just in general, who do I think is the best defence or who's the best defence to, like, buy right now? Because obviously fixtures matter. Like, I think Forest defence has been good, but I wouldn't buy them now. There's no point in doing that. I can't say Man City right now. I suspect long term it probably will just be Man City. They'll figure it out. I'm not sure. I'd have to give that more thought. Chelsea, maybe. Chelsea's numbers have been all right. Not amazing. I think Brighton defence looks pretty good next few weeks. Forest, we can see the 6 in the last 2, but they've also played like Newcastle and Arsenal, right? Pretty good. Like I say, fixtures matter. That's what I mean. Are we talking about just in general who's the best defence? Or are we talking about who are the best defenders to buy right now that aren't Liverpool and Arsenal? Yeah, Cunha or João Pedro. I'd go João Pedro just for the value, I think. But there's nothing wrong if you want to buy Cunha instead. I think I talked about that earlier. This stream has absolutely flown by. I plan to keep Semenyo this week, but can't now. Should I play Vandenberg, Smith-Rowe, or make a transfer? I'd probably just play Smith-Rowe. I think Semenyo is a pretty good long-term hold. I think Semenyo is one of those decisions this week where if you're really stuck and you need a midfielder, you don't have the bench cover, then you can sell him. But I think if I was a Semenyo owner, I'd be really tempted to keep him because you know now that he's had his suspension. Like, it's happened. So you know moving forward he's going to keep playing 90 minutes. And he's now had a rest as well. So I think Semenyo now looks really good from next week onwards. And so I'd want to hold on to him. Everton defence is picking up. Yeah, but I mean, Branthwaite, obviously, I think Branthwaite's back now, right? I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure he played again, right? Has he played the last couple? Am I talking nonsense? There is a high chance I'm talking nonsense. Yeah, he's played the last couple. The problem is the fixtures coming up are terrible, so you're just not buying them. Like Man United, like basically they've got one good fixture in the next 6 game weeks, which is Wolves at home. And even then, people with Cunha would be expecting him to score. Like Man United away, Liverpool at home, Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, City away. The next 5 of the next 6. So it's a bit like if you've got Mbeumo, don't spend any time thinking about selling him. Like, it's the same with Everton defence. Just don't spend any time thinking about buying their defenders. It's just not worth it. Just don't think it's going to be happening. Up to a rank of 792. That's amazing. Congratulations. I'm up to the lofty heights of top 900k. Amazing. Calvert-Lewin will haul against Man United. I'm not sure he will. I am not sure he will. Yeah, best captains next week. I think I'm going to stick with Palmer. I think Salah next, then Saka probably. I definitely wouldn't be captaining Haaland, I don't think. What's my realistic aim for end of season rank? Top 50k right now. And if I get another few like big green arrows, I'll reassess. Maybe I can go higher than that, but top 50k would be nice. Anything below 1 million is a great rank. Well, right now you mean, or in general? Like, I wouldn't want to be 900k at the end of the season. That would be my worst finish by an absolute mile if that happened. Do you think it's a good game week to play differential in captain picks like Cunha or João Pedro, or be safe in captain Salah? I think so. It's one of those, like, so obviously when, you know, Salah's playing Southampton, or I'm trying to think of other captains we've had recently. I mean, it's just been Salah for me recently. But, you know, like if Salah's playing Southampton or Palmer's got Ipswich, etc., they're standout captains. But I think when it's a week like this where the fixtures are slightly tougher, it doesn't mean then we should look elsewhere. I'm really not explaining this very well either, am I? I still, like, basically, long and the short of it is, Palmer against Villa at home, even though it's not a Southampton at home or a Leicester at home, is still better than a Cunha against Bournemouth at home. Like, Palmer's the midfielder. He's definitely on penalties. Like, Sarabia could take penalties ahead of Cunha if he's on the pitch. You know, the goal threat for Cunha is not quite as high as it is with Palmer. Like, I don't think Cunha's so good that he overtakes Palmer just because he's playing Villa. Like, it's not like Bournemouth at home's much easier, you know? And if you want to go Cunha, then you should. I don't think he's an awful pick, but I don't think he's suddenly better than Salah, Palmer, and even Saka for me. And the fact they're midfielders also helps as well. Missed most of this tonight. Is it worth going to the start? Nah, I wouldn't bother listening. Just same old rubbish as usual. Have you enjoyed the stream? I have enjoyed the stream. Yeah. I always enjoy the streams though. Unless, apart from all the streams where I have to keep talking about Bruno Fernandes every single week, which luckily has died down now, even though he's blank today. In fact, this stream has probably been better content-wise because Arsenal kept a clean sheet. Because if Arsenal hadn't kept a clean sheet, there would have been so many comments about him or about them. Fantasy Football Hub has Salah on higher expected points than Palmer next week. I haven't checked them yet, but that doesn't necessarily surprise me. I think Salah's good. I think right now it is really not the worst time to play Man City. You kept saying get rid of Maddison and now this happens. Yeah. Yeah, can happen. But like, this is the first... Well, I mean, he got a goal against Villa, to be fair. 8 minutes off the bench. He's literally been benched for 2 games in a row. And started losing minutes before that. Like, I think saying to get rid of Maddison before City away, when he hasn't even started the previous 2, I think was probably fine. You're screwed next week when Arsenal don't keep a clean sheet. Sure. What's quite funny is people, like, again, I get why people don't want triple defence, but people kept, or not kept saying, but a few people said to me before the Arsenal game that 1 goal wipes out 3 clean sheets. And of course that is true. But also, I only need 2 teams to keep a clean sheet to get a full house of clean sheets, whereas everyone else needs 3 or 4. So yeah, I mean, as I said on the deadline stream, yes, when Arsenal don't keep clean sheets, it's not going to be great. But guess what happens when they do keep a clean sheet? And Arsenal defenders are just better than all others, I think. So at least right now they are. So, and I've got 3 of the best, like 3 of the best defender picks in the game. So I'm kind of fine with it, really. Everyone else seems more worried about it than I am. Like at some point, I might want Saka, but I'll deal with that when it comes to it. Is double Brighton attack worth it? I mean, I don't hate João Pedro Welbeck, João Pedro Mitoma. Don't see any problem with that. I don't see me going for Welbeck and João Pedro because there's probably just more forwards I want than Welbeck. Saka will kill my rank in the next 5. Possibly, yeah, but no one's going to captain him, are they? So I don't think it's as bad as people make out. I would imagine that the majority of people don't captain Salah at all for the next 5-6 game weeks. So that already means it's a little bit easier to go without him. Like generally, week to week, people will tell me that a player that I don't own is going to kill my rank. I can only have 15 players, you know? And I could just get... Like, my plan was, like, again, when Arsenal kept the clean sheet, as always, you get a few negative comments. Yeah, but Saka outscored them all. But, like, I wasn't going to get Saka last week anyway, and I'm not going to get him for game week 14 because there's no one I want to sell. Like, I don't want to sell Palmer, Fernandes, and Burma or Salah this week. So Saka was never coming in for me until game week 14. So I'll just reassess it then. And maybe I'll take a pick to get him. But locking in 3 defenders seems a bit much from Arsenal of all teams. Yeah, because it locks out Saka. But honestly, that's the only reason not to do it. Like, there's, in my opinion, there's no other good... Well, okay. Blocking Saka is the number 1, and that is the biggest issue by a mile. Number 2, you could say that the money's not worth it. I would probably disagree with that. Outside of that, there's no good reason not to be tripled up. I don't think. Other than psychologically, it's annoying when a goal goes in. Which is not like, it's not a logical reason to not do it, you know? Do you see a time where you get Haaland back before the second wildcard? I think around game weeks 18, 19, the fixtures get really good and it's going to be difficult to go without him. But I'm just going to play it by ear. I think when I get closer to it, I'll see how many transfers I've got, whether or not I want to sell any of my midfielders. But I don't think it's a guarantee that I buy him. Yeah, you've got double defence, right? And you've got double defence because you expect a lot of clean sheets. Presumably that's why you have them, right? So if you get a lot of clean sheets with your double defence, I'm going to get them with 3 instead. Like, there was someone that said to me yesterday, this is where I just get like a headache using Twitter. Someone said to me, like, enjoy it because most of the time they're just going to get 6 points between the 3, so 2 points each. And that same person just bought Raya. So, like, they obviously think that Arsenal are going to keep a few clean sheets. And if they do that, I get 3 every time. What's my team value? I'm not sure. Not sure. Why is it risky though? See, generally when people say like it's risky to triple up, and I say why is it risky? The answer is because they might concede. Any defense can concede, right? I already have Welbeck. Want to get someone else instead of Wood in game week 14. Best option, João Pedro. Yeah, probably for that kind of money. Mario Lemina, sleeper pick. I probably wouldn't go for... Do you mean sleeper is in the app, or do you mean like he's going under the radar? Isn't there someone better than Fernandes for you? I mean Saka, or Son probably. Why is it risky? People keep saying it's risky. Why is it risky? Apart from the Saka factor, which I think at this point we've kind of mentioned enough. Why is no one talking about Timo Werner? I think that's sarcasm, right? I sold Son to get Bruno. Fair enough if you needed the money. You're putting all your eggs into one basket. But although by the way, for anyone that's listened back to this, there probably won't be much more after this. Now we're towards the end of the stream, so we can go round and round on Arsenal. You're putting all your eggs into one basket, but I'm putting all my eggs into the best defence in the league, apart from maybe Liverpool basket, right? It's risky because if they concede, then you have no other defenders left for points. But also, when they get a clean sheet, I only need one team to get a clean sheet, and I've got 3 clean sheets. I said this on the deadline stream beforehand. How many clean sheets do you think Arsenal will get this season? Like, I think we kind of said 10 was 10 more was conservative. They might go and get 30. Let's say they go and get 13 more clean sheets, right? So they finish on 17. That's probably a bit high. Maybe they won't quite get that much. But if they did, that's a clean sheet every other game. They can get close to that. It's pretty good. It's lack of diversification. It's like having all your money tied up in one company. It's inherently more risk. I don't think it is, though. Like, most weeks, Arsenal will be high for clean sheet chance. Like, pretty much every single week. Especially with the fixtures they've got right now. Triple Arsenal defense is a double-edged sword. It's either really rewarding or really annoying. Yeah, but like basically, this is what people don't want to say. It's a psychological thing. They don't want to lose a clean sheet from one goal. Sorry, they don't want to lose 3 clean sheets in one go. But people are not accepting that it's the best defense in the league. So having 3 picks from the best team is probably not that bad. This is FPL, not the stock market. There is also that, yeah. I told you to transfer out Madison. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. You should unsubscribe. You could have an egg from the Liverpool basket because it's an equally good basket. But it's not, though, right now because they've just... Well, I mean, Southampton away was a good fixture. They conceded twice. Whatever, it happens. But it's City at home, Newcastle away next. So I think Liverpool is good from 15 onwards. And by the way, I might buy a Liverpool defender. I might have a Liverpool defender and 3 Arsenal defenders. That might be an option. That's a good point. But in 13 games, they keep 4 clean sheets. Yeah, but that's not the what's happened is not. Sorry, what's happened in terms of actual clean sheets is not the best way to predict what's going to happen moving forward. You look at their defensive numbers; they're some of the best in the league. Timber sat at 1.9% overall ownership right now. What do you think? What this will be in 2 weeks' time? Maybe climbing to 6 or 7%. Like, okay, let's just stick with it. Like I said, if you're listening after this, just turn off now. We're just going to talk about Arsenal, and then I'm going to log off probably. So you look at the next few fixtures, right? West Ham away, right? There's a pretty good chance of a clean sheet, right? I would say. Man United at home. I mean, if Man United play like they did today, that's probably a good chance at a clean sheet. Maybe not, right? Fulham away could be tricky as well. I think Everton at home, Palace away, Ipswich at home. Really good chance of clean sheet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of the next 6, there's a good chance of a clean sheet. Are Arsenal good enough to keep 3 or 4 clean sheets in the next 6? Yes. And if they do, I've got 3 of their defenders. Now, I don't know if what Ahmed has just said is serious, but I think it's quite funny. Yeah, if I had 2 Arsenal defenders, there'd be no concerns whatsoever. That'd be amazing, right? Two defenders, one of the best teams in the league for defence, with great fixtures. But because I've got a 3rd, terrible. Too much risk. My only question is, does Saka and one other defender outscore Saliba and one of your midfielders? Quite possibly. And this is why I'm not arguing that people should go triple defence. Absolutely not. In fact, I wouldn't do it, right? Because seemingly, I think people are way too concerned about it, and you block Saka, and that is the biggest concern. I said that earlier. So I probably wouldn't do it for most people. But I'm saying if you ignore the Saka factor, there's no good argument to not have triple Arsenal. No, I think he was being sarcastic. Arsenal defense is good if you have 2 defenders, it's bad if you have 3. That kind of sums up people's argument, really. They're expensive as well. Yeah, that's fair, and like you might be able to spread the money around, but I don't think I'm really losing out. Like, I've got 2.7 in the bank, so I'm not massively losing out by it. Like I've got enough money to go from Mbeumo to Saka. I just don't have the Arsenal slot. Yeah, no. Again, like we're going around in circles now. I completely agree with everyone that's talking about blocking Saka. Saka's an amazing option going forward. I'm not denying that, and I may massively regret not having him. But for now, I wasn't buying him until 14 onwards either. Either way, sorry. So I just got in. Like, basically, I took Saliba instead of Colwill this week, and I'm 4 points up on that. They could do well defensively and still concede a stupid goal. So could every single team in the league. But every team in the league doesn't have the defensive numbers that Arsenal do. You're basing the Arsenal defence on last season's stats, and this season as well. It's not even just last season, and the season before that, and this season. Again, like you look at, there is a part of me thinking I can't believe I've got to argue that the Arsenal defence is good, but here we are. Look how many times they've kept the opposition to under 1 XG. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. The 1.28 was against Villa. The other 1.28 was against Chelsea. Both away games, by the way. Still pretty impressive. And then the other 3 games where the stats were terrible. City away, Bournemouth away, and where is it? City away, Bournemouth away, and Brighton at home. They were all down to 10 men. So, honestly, you could argue that Arsenal's the best defence in the league. Higher than Liverpool, I think. Anyway, Arsenal defence is good. I've got 3 defenders. This is going to be the new Bruno Fernandes conversation. The stream's gone on. This is the longest Sunday stream we've had for ages. Wonder why Foden hasn't been criticised much. He's been non-existent. I think just a lot of people just don't own him, or if they did, they've sold him. They can still concede despite the data. That's a terrible argument. That's a terrible argument. That's like saying Salah's got great data, but don't go for him because he could miss a shot. Don't go for Saka. He's got great numbers, but he might miss at some point. I don't think I do overrate the Arsenal defence. I think they're a top 2 defence in the league. How like that's a fact, no? Who's better than Arsenal defence? Who are you thinking about bringing in for Pinnock after next weekend? I might actually play Pinnock against Villa away in 14 instead of making a defender transfer. I think if I make a defender move, it'll be Colwill, Van Heck, or I'll go expensive like Vardy, old Trent, Van Dijk, something like that. One last question before you go. Do you think the Arsenal defence is any good? Maybe. They could concede on that basis no defender is viable. Exactly. It's just a rubbish argument, right? Oh, you meant in general, not FPL. I think a lot of people are starting to say that Foden's not been great. I saw, I can't remember who it was now. There was a Twitter account I follow that said, like, Foden's just so far away from the form from last year. And by the way, on the Pinnock thing, I don't think he's great against Villa away. I don't see a clean sheet whatsoever, but it might just be that I play him instead of making a defender transfer. If I could have 4 Arsenal defenders, if I could buy Timber for Lewis, yeah, I would. I'd go 4 Arsenal defenders. Why not? Why not? Why would you not get more defenders from the best defence in the league or second best? If you like clean sheets, why not go 2 Liverpool and 2 Arsenal? Because Liverpool are about to play Man City. But yeah, I might buy a Liverpool defender soon. In game week 14, I might do Lewis to Van Dijk or Trent. Sorry, no, not necessarily in 14, in 15. Am I keeping Rico Lewis for the long term? I'm basically playing it by ear. I'm just winging it a bit at the moment. What about Palmer? Take away the 4 4 GIAK freak. I guess he, like the 4 returns, basically. Is he worth it? I think he is, yeah. I think with Palmer, like, okay, if you don't own him, you could maybe question whether to bring him in, but if you've got him, he's an easy hold, right? If only you could have 11 Arsenal players. I probably wouldn't go for 11. I'm not the biggest fan of Odegaard for FPL necessarily, but if I could have Saka and 4 defenders, I would probably do that. That's a good point by Ahmed, by the way. Yeah, Liverpool defense is good, but they might concede, so you can't buy them. I mean, look, honestly, like genuinely, no joking now. If I could have Timber and Saka to add to my 3 other Arsenal defenders, I'd probably do it. Okay, any other questions before we go that I've not talked about? Odegaard's fine. I just don't. I'd rather have Fernandes, I think. Although I've got to be honest, Odegaard looks so good against Forest. Like, Arsenal could smash West Ham. Salah's record is amazing against City. Probably a better captain than Palmer. But he might miss. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. If you're somehow still listening at this point, you've probably not and switched off. I really wouldn't have blamed you. I'll be back tomorrow with early thoughts. Maybe we'll talk about the Arsenal defence. I don't know if we've done that enough. Maybe. Yeah, possibly. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. All the usual content to come this week. Friday deadline, don't forget that. It's 6:30 UK time on Friday. Arsenal defence will probably concede against West Ham. It's still a good defence, though. Timber's good. Gabriel's great. I'll see you later.